morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, this literally does not work. So let's get open to business and let's wake up my football gods. Good morning, guys. How y'all doing today? It is Taco Tuesday, and I hope all of your taco dreams come true. I'm serious. I want everybody to have tacos. You get a taco, and you get a taco, and you get a taco. And I'm trying to come up with a really good taco today. I'm thinking about shrimp. I'm thinking about steak. Wish I still had some of that barbecue, because some pulled pork ones would be really good too. But I've got to come up with a really good taco recipe today. I've been doing my keto. I'm actually 15 pounds down. Surprisingly, after the draft party, I didn't put on any weight. I just kind of maintained, so I'm feeling really good. So it is now post-draft. We are into May already. And when you look back at the draft, what's clear is this draft was all about the D. And it seemed like, more than anything else, that Dan Quinn, you would have almost thought that he was the head coach. The night after the draft there, you had him, talking about the defense and everything else. He's out on Front Street. And even as Skip and Shannon put it, it didn't seem like Mike McCarthy was even really part of the calls. Now, I'll say this much. Mike McCarthy has always been an offensive coach. Okay? Always been an offensive coach, from an offensive coordinator who passed on Aaron Rodgers for Alex Smith, and, of course, head coach of the Green Bay Packers, and still really took care of the offense. So you wouldn't expect him, per se, to really, kind of be the guy as far as all the picks and stuff. But it seems like you almost have, dare I say, two head coaches? Because it seems like Dan Quinn is the shiny new piece here. He is deemed the savior of the team. If I'm wrong, please say. This is just what I see, and I could be completely wrong. But I'm almost wondering and I talked a few months ago that this may be put up or shut up for Mike McCarthy. That if this team does not succeed right now, because going into this now, you've got your franchise quarterback. You got that. He appears to already be healthy, and we're just beginning May. Says he's going to be ready for all offseason work here and ready to go. You've got your offensive tackles coming back. You've got some young guys that are capable, like Tyler Badish and things like that. You've got one of the best wide receiver cores in football. And you should have a Zeke Elliott that, if the offensive line is healthy, he's got a chip on his shoulder and may or should come back a lot better. Now, keep in mind, people are looking at Zeke and saying he's got to get a 1,700 yard, 2,000 yards. That's not what this offense needs. In fact, what you really want Zeke to get is about 1,250 yards, because then that is more balanced. You want to mix in some Tony Pollard, who's a better pass catcher and kind of a different weapon. We want to throw out there a lot of different looks and attack you from different locations. I always say the best offense is like a hydra, multi-headed, that you cut off one head. You try and take, defense tries to take Zeke Elliott away. It's okay, because now we're going to use, Tony Pollard outside. You try and take out Tony Pollard. Well, it's okay. You got Amari Cooper. You take care of Amari Cooper, then, you got CeeDee Lamb. Take care of CeeDee Lamb. Oh, well, there's Michael Gallup. Oh, you got Michael Gallup. Okay. There's Dalton Schultz and so, you follow me? If there's one guy to stop, if there's just Julio Jones, you can focus it on him. But if you have all these guys that can kill you on the team, it's death by 1,000 cuts. And that's what you want as an offense. If you're Dak Prescott right now, you got to be feeling excited about all of the weapons that you have, with CeeDee Lamb having another year, that you can have him over at the house there playing PlayStation, as well as playing Tecmo out there on your field in real life. But having all of these guys here ready to rock and roll, you have to be excited. And so the thing for Mike McCarthy is there's no excuses. that you have, the highest guaranteed paid quarterback in the NFL. You have what's considered to be an elite, if not, well, at least a top 5 running back. You've got a capable offensive line. You've got, some people will say, the best wide receiver core in football. And your defense should be better than it was last year. So, does anybody else feel like Mike McCarthy's job is on the line now? Am I crazy or just plain stupid? His first year in Green Bay, he was 8-8. 8-8. The next year, let's look at it here. The next year, 13-3, 1-1 in the playoffs. And year 5, they won the Super Bowl. I bet Cowboy fans, we'd be happy with a 13-3 season. That would be winning. Oh, actually, it would be 13-4 or 14-3, because there's no more 8-8s. That's it. We're done. Jason Garrett, don't worry, you'll never have another 8-8 season. Would you be satisfied with a 13-3 couple of game playoffs? At this point, I would be. I'd be happy as pie after the last 2 seasons. But if it's anything short of making the playoffs, you've got to figure that Mike McCarthy is done. And I almost dare say, I may be crazy, but it seems like Dan Quinn could be the guy in waiting. He's right there. It seems like he's gotten into the Joneses' ear because he's got the Joneses family doing something that they don't do. He's got them thinking about the defense. He's got them thinking about, I still don't believe we drafted a nose guard. He's got them buying into his philosophy right now. Fast and physical. And the Cowboys are putting their money behind him. So for me, people say, well, Dan Quinn's, he'll come through, he'll have a great season, and he'll be a head coach someplace. It might be in Dallas. It might be in Dallas. If there's any hiccup or crazy thing, like, let's say, I don't know, punting on your 21-yard line. Fake punting on your 21-yard line. Clock management issues. Some calls that make you scratch your head and say, what are you doing? Mike McCarthy's on the hot seat. Make no bones about it. He is. So I want to show you, I'm not a big mock draft guy. A lot of people killed me for it, okay? I'm not a fantasy football guy, but I'm going to have my man, Stuart Morrison, who is great. He knows his stuff when it comes to fantasy football. We're going to start doing a fantasy football show on a weekly basis and stuff with him. It's one of those things like you got to do, okay? It's kind of like your husbandly duties and things, You got to take out the trash, okay? You got to cut the grass and all that stuff. Those things you must do, and fantasy football is going to be one of those things that I must do, so I'm going to take care of it. But all these things kind of are meaningless. But they have a preseason post-draft poll, how they think teams are going to do this next year, or where they stand right now. And I just want to go through this because there's a couple things interesting about it. Right now, of course, they say, sorry, Eastside, that the Houston Texans are ass, that you are the worst team right now in football. So Eastside, don't jump off the bridge. Please, don't do it. Followed by the Lions. The Lions. Okay. After the Lions, the New York Jets. And then, of course, the Jaguars. And we get down to, oh my goodness, the Eagles. The Eagles. I'm going to write this one down. 28. Eagles. Okay. Poor Eagles. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum. The Bengals. The Panthers. Panthers. That's good. I'm going to put that down. 2. Panthers. Okay. The Raiders. The Raiders. Okay. Raiders. Falcons. Okay. The Vikings. New York Giants. Denver Broncos. The Bears. New Orleans. Okay, New Orleans Saints. New England. Okay, and then I believe it's our Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys at 17. Okay. You know, I'm okay with that because expectations are the building blocks of resentment. And when the Cowboys are expected to do something, usually they don't. Seriously. After we go through and we have a great season like 2014, it ends up being a disaster. It's just the way it always is. It's usually when there's no expectations on the Cowboys is when they succeed. So I'm okay with 17, and I'm not going to say, oh, we're a Super Bowl team, we're great. We're right where we should be. What I want to point out on here is those teams that I wrote down: Eagles, Panthers, Raiders, Falcons, Giants, Denver, New Orleans, and New England. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 teams. 8 teams right there, right? 2 of which will play twice, Giants and Eagles. So that's 10 games. That's 10 games next year with, at the moment, teams look at and say, they're worse than you. You're better than them right now. Just right now. And I know this preseason poll means nothing because we got a whole nother wave of free agency. You don't know how the rookies are going to work out, that you're going to have guys that surprise you. You're going to have guys that are going to be asked. You're going to have guys that had a great season last year that have a terrible one this year. You know, there's too many variables in here. But at this moment, you have 10 games with teams that are deemed worse than you. Let's keep going through here on the list. So you got 2 games against the Washington football team in your division. So that gets you to 12 of your games that you have on the season out of the 17. You got the Chargers. Okay, that's one of them. They're deemed right now a better team than you are. I won't say that we're very far from the Chargers. I mean, we're basically rated right there. Okay, I'm not going to say that they are Kansas City or Tampa Bay. They're a good team, but they're still in that same area with us, right? Oops. Boy, that jumped quick. The Colts, we don't play them unless it's in the Super Bowl. Steelers, we don't play them. Washington football team. Okay. So Washington, highest rated, 1 in our division. They're what is Washington? I don't know. Okay, they're 14. Cardinals, okay. We play the Cardinals, so that's 3. Don't play Miami. Don't play Seattle. Don't play the Rams unless it were playoffs. Don't play the Titans. Don't play the Ravens. Don't play Green Bay. Don't play Cleveland. Don't play Buffalo. We play Kansas City. And we play Tampa Bay. So right now, when you look at this, we only play 2 teams right now that are currently rated in the top 10. 2. 10 of the games we play are teams that are deemed behind us. 8 of the teams we play are in the 20s or 30s. My friends, when you look at it, and things are bound to change. Tampa Bay may not be the juggernaut. They may be old and fat next year. Could be wrong. It could be that New Orleans all of a sudden catches lightning and that they're the hot team from the South. But when you start thinking about playing Atlanta, Carolina, Washington, not Washington, the Giants, the Eagles, the Raiders, Denver. Did I get Denver in there? Yeah, I get Denver in there. You've got a lot of games that are winnable, and you should be excited as a Cowboy fan. And you look at this from the standpoint of us not making the playoffs last year built us better for this year. I got flack a couple of years ago when I said, maybe we should lose to Washington, or should we lose to Washington, because it might have ended the Jason Garrett era, and it would give us higher draft picks. And that's what happened this past year. We could have had some luck, possibly won the division, but we wouldn't be in the shape that we are right now. And so you look at it from the standpoint of, instead of us playing the third place teams, that we're playing New England versus Washington playing Buffalo. We're playing the Cardinals as opposed to Washington playing Seattle, and so on. They've got a tougher schedule. And now they have the target on their back. So we'll see how it all works, and we'll find out how Mike McCarthy is going to do with all these new weapons and a new attitude. But I still believe that Mike McCarthy, you better watch his back. You know the deal. Our Colts here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is